Oh, hey, Colonel Khan, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying the event. I'm Joe Fitzpatrick. I do hardware stuff, and I figured that I might pop in here and just give you a brief tour about where I do the hardware stuff that I do. I build boards, I teach classes, I take things apart, and I do it all in a pretty small little space. So what you see is me and the green screen behind me, but if we look to the side, we can actually see, over my shoulder and see what's going on back here. So this is where, the video stuff happens, where, talks and lectures and conversations and Zoom meetings galore happen. But over here is where the real hardware work happens. We've got my solder station, which, is right here in the corner. I've got my soldering iron. I've got a stereo microscope, which is really handy when you're getting older and your eyes don't work so well, or when you need to do like a whole bunch of soldering, like 2 or 3 hours. It really saves your eyes. And even those big magnifiers with lights underneath them, those are also pretty handy. Way better than those silly little helping hands things I've never found useful. You'll notice I do have a bench full of like big equipment. And I've got a oscilloscope. I've got a programmable power supply. I've got a function generator. I do have a multimeter. And I've got these. When I need them, they're helpful. But I very rarely actually use them. And actually the multimeter is what I use the most, and it sits here stuck on the continuity tester mode. So basically what I do for, the only thing I ever really use it for is poking around and probing boards to find where to connect my wires to actually do the real work. Most of what I'm doing is usually computer-based. I'm sitting on a computer with a USB cable and a board that's speaking UART or JTAG, or I'm dealing with a logic analyzer that's going to go and grab some data from off of those wires. So that's where most of the work happens. I do also have a reflow oven, an ultrasonic cleaner, but those are for the cases where, I'm building a board. I'll build a board, design it, put the components on, and then plug it in over USB to do the rest of the real work with the hardware. I am here in this lab, and this lab is, my office and everything else. It's actually a shed in my backyard. So, it's pretty roomy, 160 square feet. I've got a tiny little shed with a tiny little monitor to sit there and delete emails. And let's take a peek over at the side. Software people, they've got their home labs that they're really excited about, and you got racks of servers and storage and everything else. And when it comes down to that, I've got this little small factor computer with some VMs running on it that does virtually everything I need it to. What I also have is I've got a NAS, but I've got the printer, I've got the 3D printer, I've got the label printer, I've got another label printer, and then I've got the PCB mill, which actually goes and is CNC mill that goes and cuts out PCBs for me when I need them. So, hardware lab's a little different from the software lab. Also, what I've got is, the hard thing about hardware is all the stuff you need, right? You need to have a bunch of tools, screwdrivers, and wire cutters, and pliers galore. So I got my tools up here, some different multimeters for special purposes. Down below, I've got a lot of parts in these trays. I built these shelves to hold boxes full of components, which are pretty handy sometimes. Of course, I got my shelf full of broken laptops. And over here, we've got power supplies and cables galore. Another wall over here I'm not going to show you. It's basically more of the same thing. So I think that's it. That's the view of my office and my workspace and my hardware workspace and my recording videos workspace. I hope that you enjoy the rest of KernelCon. And until then, good luck. See you around. I gotta get back to my game now.